Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear Fam members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Madeline.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Jamie.
And we are the Fear Babes.
Welcome back to the podcast. That's it. That's all I have. I don't know. So, in summary, for everybody but Madeline. First of all, I'm going to say, hi, Duchess. She wanted to do the intro. That's the real intro. Yeah.
You want to do the intro? Come here.
Oh, now she's getting quiet. She's like, I don't want to say
stage fright. Okay, first of all, Jamie's not on this weekend, so it's just me and Mads. Okay, so now we got you that information. Second of all, everybody, that's not Madeline. I am currently on my 7th day of migraine. I am fucking delusional at this point. There's a disconnect between my brain and my mouth, so my words might be all fucked up. It is what it is. We're just dealing with it. So I was like, yeah, Mads, I can do the intro today. And then I was like, we're here. I don't know words.
Hopefully everything is gonna go good. I mean, like, I feel like every time, and this is just a personal observation, but every time that we like record, it's early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. So like every time that we're recording, I'm like, words, thoughts, sentences. Like, it's like nothing ever comes to like I'll have a thought and then my words just do not match that thought at all. And I'm like, I wonder if people think I'm special. Like,
I promise we're smarter than we sound on this podcast. Okay. It's just early. Struggle's real. I get up earlier for the podcast than I do for fucking work, man. Don't tell Aubrey. Aubrey, I know you're listening. I'm sorry. I'm not a morning person, I swear. It's just easy because it's a Saturday, so like, what do? You record it and you go take a fucking nap. Like, I can't get up for work and then just start taking a nap 2 hours later. It doesn't work that way.
I love naps. I absolutely love taking naps. I'm a nap girly, and so much to the point where the other day I told my mom, I said, I am a sleepy bitch all the time. Do you think that something's wrong with me? And she was like, probably not. And I was like, well, I get nervous. But then I started thinking about the fact that I took naps in high school too. Like, before I would go to work, between after I got out of school until like I went to work, I would take naps. So I'm like, no, I've just always been this way.
Yeah. I love me a good nap. You know, it's like, even before the podcast, it was like every Saturday and Sunday, I'd be taking a nap around about 2 p.m. every day.
Hell yeah.
I just had to. Like, if I don't have my weekend nap, everything is fucked up.
It fucks hard.
Yeah. So it's like, I hope no toddlers are listening to this, but if you're a toddler listening to this, appreciate your fucking naps, man, because when you grow up, you will want to nap. It will happen. So I don't know why y'all fight it so hard. It's so peaceful.
Literally, I be having some crazy ass dreams when I'm sleeping too.
Oh my gosh, I know.
But that's going to be a next week topic.
Do you ever have, it is a next week topic, but I am going to ask you this question right now, is do you ever have dreams that are so good that you can't wait to like take a nap or fall back asleep? Because like dream world is so much cooler than real world sometimes.
Yes, I have dreams like that. Not frequently, but when I do have them, I'm like, please continue, please continue.
Right. I've had dreams before where, like, you know, you wake up to pee or whatever, the dog has to pee, and you wake up 2 or 3 times in the night, but then you go back to sleep and they're continuing. Like, your dream continues from where you left off at.
It's the best.
Wild. Anyways, that's next week's topic, like you said.
This weather has just been not it for me.
Fair.
And I have had such a runny nose.
I know you know, but for people that don't know, last Saturday, it was negative 33 degrees here in Casper, Wyoming. And on Wednesday, it was 30 degrees here in Casper, Wyoming. So yeah, in like, what is that, 4 days, we did a 60-degree switcherooski, but it's like nobody thinks about it because it's cold. That'd be like if it went from 0 degrees to 60 degrees in 4 days.
Yeah.
But nobody thinks about it because it's cold weather. It's not like, oh, you're going from cold to warm or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. It's just like too cold to moderately cold. But yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that's a big part of my migraine issues this week.
I'm willing to bet money that it is. Hold on. Duchess is being dramatic, so I don't know.
Is that what? I thought somebody was talking in the background.
No, it's her. You have got to stop. Okay? Chill out.
Mads is such a good mom.
I don't know what her deal is because she's already been out. She's had her breakfast. She has her toys. I think she wants Jade out, but I don't know. So
I don't know how Dutch is, but for Dees, so when we used to do the Fear Friends Zoom calls and stuff, because so I live by myself, right? And so it's me and my dogs. And so if I'm talking, it's usually to the dogs, right? So Diesel thinks if I'm on a call or something and I'm talking, he's like, "Are you talking to me? Is it me? You want to talk to me?" So then he gets all up in my shit. And I'm like, no, it's not you. I'm not giving you attention at the moment. You have plenty of it.
Yeah, literally.
So I wonder if that's part of Duchess's problem. I mean, but you have roommates, but...
Yeah, I mean, Samuel is gone right now. He went out to get some overtime. And then Leah is, I think she's still asleep. I'm not sure, but it's just me right now. But I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. She just laid down, so hopefully that solves my issue. Anyway, shall we get into it?
Yeah. Okay, so what you got for us?
So, here's the thing. I thought a great topic would be past lives, reincarnation, all that fun goody stuff. For so many reasons. So many reasons. I feel like you could go down a spiral when it comes to that kind of stuff, but it's one of those things where I'm trying, see, my thoughts are there, but my words are not.
I hate that feeling so much.
I hate it. It's one of those things where I spent a lot of time in my early 20s trying to figure out the possibility of past lives because, as I have stated previously on this podcast numerous times, I am religious. I am a Christian, and we're not supposed to believe in reincarnation necessarily, or based off of the teachings that I grew up with. And I mean that in like from a church standpoint, not necessarily my mother. I spent a lot of time in my early 20s trying to figure out what a lot of my dreams meant and what a lot of the deja vu that I had meant. It's very weird because I also wonder personally if maybe potentially if a past life does exist, or numerous past lives as some religions believe. I feel as though you're drawn to certain periods of history. So I have always been drawn to the medieval era, specifically medieval England. And because of that, it's so many things. Like, it's such a broad topic. You know what I mean? I have just devoted so much of my time, even in my teen years, to like learning about medieval history, how things work, the day-to-day life, the royals. My main topic of fascination was the Wars of the Roses, or as some of you may know, the Cousins' War. I've had so much fascination to it, like obsessive fascination, okay? To the point where I'm like, some of the dreams that I've had, they felt so real, to where I'm like, did I just have a past life regression? Like, I don't even know. Like, things in these dreams, or quote unquote a potential regression, was like so spot on that when I looked it up after the fact, it was accurate.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you get what I mean?
That's cool, yeah.
So, I don't know, man. My brain is not computing properly, so I'm gonna let you get into your theory because.
So, I mean, past lives do, in fact, fascinate me. Here I go with I'm like,
I'm telling you, like, words.
Words are hard. So, I don't have quite like the pull that you have with like experience of past life per se, or like inklings, I guess. Like you said, you had the dreams and whatnot. But I have this whole theory. It involves past lives, but it also ties into the afterlife. So, basically, what if your soul has to go through specific levels or lessons or however you want to phrase it to get to the afterlife, or essentially heaven, whatever heaven you believe in, right? What if you live one life and you're a young soul and you're a naive soul and you have to learn like level 1 and then I don't know how else to explain it other than this, but you level 1 and you have to go through your first heartbreak, or you have to get murdered, or whatever have you. And
yeah,
you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And so you go through that lesson, your soul's like leveled up now, and then boom, you're reborn. So now you're on to the next one. And like, let's just say for simplifying this words, man. To simplify the whole thing, let's say there's just 10 levels, right? So like maybe like people who are, I don't know, man. Humanity's weird, okay? I have my own theories about humanity in general. But you come across people in your lives that are like, some people are just more evolved than others, for lack of a better phrase, right? So probably like in my theory that I'm trying to explain to you guys right now, the more evolved you are, the more lives you've lived. The better grasp of life you have, and the better understanding of life you have, and the more things just click for you. Like, I've been going through a personal growth process recently, and I've really started to like understand communication as a whole. Like, I had a friend the other day. There's 2 friends, and they had a little bit of a communication breakdown. And I told the one, I was like, it's because you're a literal thinker and she's not. So like, you said one thing and she comprehended it another way. But people like, not everybody gets that, you know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody realizes that. So like, as an example, like the more you understand and grasp just basic things like that, I feel like the more evolved your soul is, the more levels you've been through, type of thing. And so like, people are at different stages in their soul journey, we'll call it. So I feel like, in a sense, it's possible that you have to go through different lives, get through different stages to finally eat the... Oh my gosh. Matt, help me! to meet the end goal, which is heaven, right? What is happening, man? I'm not on drugs, I swear.
I feel like you're doing so much better than me, honestly.
This is comedy. We're not editing any of this out. I'm just gonna leave this all in. You guys can just struggle with me. Fucking hell. Anyways, did that make sense?
Well, here's the thing. I've heard of this theory before. I think the first time I heard about it, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, was when I figured out in my teen years that the voices I would hear in my head and like stuff like that makes me sound a little bit crazy. The voices that I would hear in my head, I found out after like my grandfather passed away, my papa, our family had reunited because we had some family drama, which with that side of the family is not unheard of. But some time had passed and we all sat down and around, and it was mostly us women. And we, kind of figured out, hey, we're all having these feelings, sensations, clairvoyancy, should I say. Seeing things before they happen, hearing people talk, having weird connections. I've said before that if I go to like a place of historical significance or just a place in general, and all of a sudden I'm seeing things like people dressed in like Civil War era attire or stuff like that, like the whole Philadelphia thing. Wild. I will never forget that. That was so cool to see in my mind. But
damn, I wish that you could like somehow project it so that like I want to experience what you're experiencing, Mads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so weird. But all of that to say, we had the discussion of the multiple levels. And my cousin, one of my cousins, should I say, because we were all sitting there, she looked over at me, and I was like 15, 16. She's like, you have lived multiple lives. just randomly out of nowhere, like we were in the middle of a conversation, and she's like, "You've lived multiple lives." And I said, "What?" And she's like, "Do you not like kind of feel like you've been here before? Have you had like any sort of draw to certain time period?" And not only have I felt drawn to the medieval period, but the Civil War era. And I'm so drawn to Charleston. And I promise that all of this wordy stuff is getting somewhere, okay? But I love Charleston. When I go there, it's like I'm home. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I stand there in Battery Park, in the harbor, and I'm just like, this feels right. This is everything to me right now in this moment. And maybe it was everything to me in a different life. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I had said that to her after she had said those things and talked about the medieval period. And she's like, I could definitely see that for sure. There's just something about you. I had remembered when I was, God, how old was I? I was like 12, maybe 11 or 12. It was my first time that I ever went to Charleston. I had a best friend at the time, and her mom claimed to be a medium. Now, I'm not one to bash people for what they claim to be, but to me, as an adult looking back on this time, I think that bitch was a crock of shit, and I did not like her. So, but that doesn't mean that because she was so enveloped in this thought process that she was a medium. She also practiced Reiki and like doing past life regressions. Well, my mom was like, I'm gonna fuck around and do a past life regression. They did it while we were in Charleston, and lo and behold, my mom had lived another life in Charleston. It's so odd because I totally believe in like the invisible string theory. And I also believe that the people that you're in this life with, you have been in multiple lives together.
See, that's the thing I was going to say is like, I don't have like the location situation like you do, but I have come across people. I'm like, in some past life, some way we were connected.
Yeah, because it's like, it's just too easy. A normal conversation day-to-day life, you don't feel a gravitational pull towards someone.
Mm-mm.
Okay. But like some people, you will meet them and it's like,
you just instantly click.
And it's the weirdest thing. It's like something within you is like, this is where I'm supposed to be right now at this point in time.
Yeah. These are my people.
Pretty much to sum up what I was saying prior. See, I'm like going everywhere because it truly is such a broad thing. But
we're along for the ride at this point. Let's just fucking do it.
Well, let's just fucking, get into it and bear with me here because like we stated previously, it's early. I do have a cup of coffee in my system, but that means nothing. I'm not a morning person. Let's get into it.
Real fast. Before anybody's like, why do you guys record in the morning and then not at night instead? And it's because we have to freaking edit this still. We need time to do that. So
yeah, we have to edit.
We only have Saturday and Sunday, people. Like,
that's what
this is magic. We're working magic here.
Once I had heard about my mom and her past life regression, she was able to see who she was. She said, I remember looking in a mirror and I looked completely different in this regression. And my husband, apparently, I remember this clear as day because I was so fascinated by it. And her husband's name was Charles, and they had kids and like all this kind of stuff. And she was able to like look him up, and it was so weird. It was so strange.
Wait, she looked him up? Like she found the actual guy?
I'm pretty sure she did. Don't quote me on that.
That's so cool.
That's when I knew, okay, so if my mom has lived in the Civil War era, then my pull towards that time period makes a lot of sense. And so, yeah. But I have heard about the different levels.
The different levels theory.
I've heard of that before.
Every time I talk about it, my mom's like, there's these books you need to read, and I'm going to send them to you, and you have to read them. And my mom doesn't sound like that, by the way. But I think even when you and I talked to her for the podcast, she brought it up. She's like, I keep telling you to read those books. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
I have to.
It's like
every time she tells me, I always forget to like purchase them, and then I have to be like, "What are those books again?"
story of my life.
But yeah, I like the I can't have words today, so that's a fun time. Good grief. Back to what you're saying is I don't think I have like, I mean, I've gone places and there are places that I'm so fascinated by, like you're saying. Like, I don't know, man, Yellowstone, I don't know what it is about Yellowstone. Maybe in a past life I was one of the first people to go through that area and like discover it and whatnot. Because every time I go there, I'm just like in awe. And I just feel like spiritually connected to it. Guys, Mads muted. So I'm just gonna chill. We're just vibing. We're just waiting for her to come back. I don't know what this voice is. It's like really soft and ASMR. This is a paintbrush. It's a stiff paintbrush. Hold on. Boring. We hate it. What's next? And back. What the fuck? I was just like, I thought you muted because Duchess was barking again. So I was just like, okay, well, let's do some ASMR. And I was just like rubbing a paintbrush on the fucking microphone. And I was about to find something else, and then the call dropped.
I'm like, what the fuck? I think it's odd. Like, I'm such a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's odd that it just randomly fucking stopped me, like, completely from speaking. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Could be nothing.
Yeah, I know. I also had the same thought, actually. I was like, how interesting is this that we're talking about past lives and paranormal things and whatnot, and it's just like, stop talking!
So weird. I said something along the lines of, I hope what I am saying is making some sort of sense, even though I'm going everywhere mentally. It's like I'll have a thought and I just got to keep seeing it through. Mm-hmm. But yeah. All right.
It's so funny. Watch, we're gonna finish the recording. We're gonna go take a nap. We're gonna hop into our editing like we do, and both of us are gonna be like, "What the fuck? Who are we? Like, we sound stupid as shit."
Oh my god!
I have somebody's gonna listen to this and it's gonna resonate, and that's all that I care about.
Yeah,
I really hope my computer's spazzing the fuck out now. Aliens. That's a different topic for a different day.
So what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I don't honestly remember. Do you remember what I was starting with?
No.
Okay, sick. Anyways, oh no, I was talking about Yellowstone. I was like, yeah, it's just weird. Like, I can't wait for you and Jay to come out here, and we're gonna go and we're gonna do it together. But it's just, I don't know how to explain it, man. But I get there and I'm just wandering around, and it's like, dude, I'm having a fucking epiphany right now. Holy shit. Is that even the right word? I don't know. You all know we've made it at least 30 minutes at this point. We've talked about it. We're struggling. It's fine. You know how I was like, oh, Mads, I want to experience what you're experiencing, like when you were in Pennsylvania, and you're like, I saw it like back in the day, but also at the same time, I just now realized that I've had that same experience in Yellowstone.
Oh, really?
Like, I've been there before, and I've, like, you can see, like, the boardwalk and everything, right? But I can also see it, like, in my head without all of the, like, touristization of it at the same time. It's, like, overlapping scenes. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Is that what you feel?
To an extent, yes.
Do we sound like a bunch of fucking basket cases right now?
It feels as though, like, how do I explain it? So, the way that I've had the one other person that I know personally in my life, the way that she explained how she saw it, it's like a projection. It's like everybody else is still around. Like, modern day people are still walking, but you can see the people over it.
Yeah, mine's like that, but it's not like people. It's more of like the landscape as it was before people discovered it.
I could definitely see that being a thing because that road I could that we were standing on at the corner of like Liberty Hall or whatever. Thanks, Duchess. on the corner.
I was like, it was either Duchess or you told me it was really loud right now.
No, it was her. She's been doing that a lot recently, where she's just like, I'm like, same.
Annie did that to me the other day. I was like, excuse you, sassy? Anyways, back to what you're saying.
Oh, God. But it's kind of like, yeah, I can see it like it was, like how it was supposed to be. When I go to the Charleston Harbor, it's like I can see old ships and like
so cool.
with the sails and everything coming in. And being out there on the Charleston Harbor, though, is like, it's incredible. It's stunning. I love it.
Are we going to go? When we do our North Carolina trip, are we going to go?
I don't know. I want to, even though it's in South Carolina. But I kind of want to because it's such a... I love it so much. I wish I could explain.
Isn't it? It sucks when we're like, yeah, we're gonna do these like home state trips and we're gonna take you like everywhere, but it sucks because it's like there's not enough time in 1 week's time frame to like hit everything. Like, I feel like I feel like you specifically would really be fascinated by Devil's Tower, and it's just so far the opposite direction of everything else we're doing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was actually talking to Sierra about that yesterday. Where I was discussing like the North Carolina road trip, and I don't want to spend much time in the Carolina mountains strictly because there's not anything to do. Mm-hmm. They don't have very much. Like Boone is very touristy, but it's not like crazy, and I don't want to go up that far. I want to go to Asheville so y'all can see the Biltmore and stuff, but I was talking about the middle part. Like, of course, Charlotte's in the middle. That's why everything is so convenient for me because I'm right here in the middle of everything. I'm 2 hours from both. That we do have lakes, but now I'm starting to wonder, maybe we should just do Charleston in the middle part and then just go up the coast of South Carolina and you'll see South Carolina beaches as well as the Carolina beaches, and you can see how drastically different they are. But I don't know. I definitely would love for you guys to see Charleston, especially since you're going to be down this far. So it's kind of what I'm thinking. But we'll see.
We'll figure it out. I mean, we have forever, so it's not like we can't do more trips.
Yeah, we do have forever.
I mean, at least we have probably at least another 50 years, right?
Yeah,
that puts me in my like 70s. I think that's a good number.
Yeah, I think so too.
And maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll have another lifetime together, as we were discussing.
It definitely could be.
Do you think we've been connected in the past life?
I do wonder because of how easy it's been.
And the fact. Oh my gosh, Anyways, moving on. It's just like sometimes in the really side tangent real fast. Sometimes like me and my mom and Dawn and we used to watch Drew Carey's and Propaganda, and they would play this game, and it was called like New Choice or whatever. And so one of the guys would say a line, and then someone would be like New Choice, and they'd have to like redo their line, but like totally different. And so sometimes when we stumble upon stuff like that, like when we're talking to each other, we're just like New Choice.
New Choice. That's
anyways,
funny.
Yeah. What was I saying?
But to answer your question, yes.
Yeah, us in a past life. So, I lost my train of thought again. I just left the station without me. It's like Gonzo. And then there was that. I'm trying to get it back.
Oh, bless.
Literally. Somebody send help. SOS.
SOS. SOS, please. Someone help me.
So I can remember that, but not my fucking own thought process.
Well, I could tell you about one of my regression dreams.
You probably should. Anyways, we've met in a past life, and okay, it came back really fast. The fact that you and I have such similar. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna like unplug my brain and plug it back in. I'm done. I quit. I'm out of here. Good grief. You and I have such similar thought processes on so many things.
Yeah, we do.
That I just feel like, I don't know, maybe we were sisters in a past life or something.
Yeah, and I'll say something, and then you'll be like, dude, no joke, I was just about to say that.
Yeah, we do that all the time.
But not in like a, oh my god, have y'all seen that trend on TikTok where it's Hans and Anna from Frozen, and he goes, I mean, it's crazy, and then
We
she
finish
goes,
each
what?
other's sandwiches!
Sandwiches. That's what I was gonna say, and he's like getting the ick visually.
Yeah.
It's not like one of those things where it's like, oh my god, I was gonna say that, but I wasn't actually because you're an idiot. It's more like, no, we genuinely were about to say the
actually,
same thing.
yeah, all the time. It's like I'm
weird.
thinking something and you just say it and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's odd.
And we're like,
so
it's like
strange.
every time we're podcasting, I'm like thinking something, like you're talking about something and I'm thinking about like, yeah, this is making so much sense, and I'm thinking about like what I'm gonna reply to you when you're ready for that, and like I didn't like not, you know, oh god, this is so hard today. Ah! Okay.
Oh my god.
I can't. It sucks because like my brain is like there, but the disconnect between my brain and my mouth is just like everything I'm thinking is in my head, but it's just not coming out properly. And it's so like it feels so bad. Like I hate it. Yeah, you're saying shit though, and I'm thinking it, and then like as I'm thinking something, you just say it out loud, and I'm like, what the fuck, Madeline? Like how do we do that? Like what is that?
It's odd, but I do think that it definitely points towards us definitely having some sort of connection in another life.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, okay, so in these regression dreams, or what seemingly appears as a regression dream, they're very, very realistic. Like you're there, you can feel like dampness or how hot something is, how cold something is. Like it's like you're actually there. And there was this one dream that I had. I don't even know how long ago it was. It was probably in 2018 or 2019, so about like 5 or 6 years ago. And in the dream, the most specific things that come out to me was we were somewhere that was cold, somewhat damp as though it had just rained, and the only light that was around was candles, like a little candelabra kind of thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe not a candelabra, that's a little bit too extravagant, but more like definitely everything was lit by candlelight, and it was very obviously in the middle of the night, so there wasn't a tremendous amount of light. It was kind of dark, and I was woken up in this dream, and to me, right off the bat, from this point looking back, is I believed that I was like, I had to have been royalty or a higher ranking person. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because I was in this dream, and the person that came in was obviously either like a servant to some extent, a lady in waiting, something like that. Okay. And they go, my lady, the twins, like super like out of breath and like very, I don't even know what. And I just remember thinking they were mine, like my twins, like my kids. And I got up and I like threw something on real quick, and I like ran behind her. And again, we were like being led by this very small amount of light. It's completely pitch dark. It seemed as though that there was a full moon. And then we keep going, and we get to like a nursery. And I just remember being like freaked out and like being upset, and that's where it ended. That was all that it gave me. And that's when I was sitting there like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And we were definitely somewhere that it was like the stone. It was like built of stone because the walls were stone. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was so traumatized when I woke up because I was like, I felt like something was missing.
Mm-hmm.
And my immediate, like, conscious thought was that one of my twins had passed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's kind of the worst part to, like, wake up because, like,
I
what
know.
happened?
And I'm like, what the actual fuck?
Did that bring you real emotions?
Yeah, it did. And I was not in a good mood that whole day.
Oh,
I was like, what the actual shit is going on? And so I started, like, obsessively searching, like, for anybody, because based off, like, the clothing, it looked like it was, like, from a historical perspective, it looked as though it was, like, late 14th, early 15th century, early to mid. It was like it could be anything. It's since it was dark, it's hard to see. And so I kept looking. I was like, who had twins? Like twin boys or something. Like, who had them?
Mm-hmm.
Who had them? Like, I kept hearing or thinking in my head they were boys. So I kept looking. And then I found this one person. She was a queen. She was English originally. And I promise I'm getting somewhere with this, okay? I'm not saying that this person was my past life. I'm just saying that the coincidences are very odd. But it was Joan Beaufort, who was an English, she was from England, and she married the Scottish King James I in like the early 1400s. And they did have twin boys. One of them passed away.
What?
And oddly enough, let me make sure my history is right here because I'm pretty sure she was the sister of Margaret Beaufort. I'm just going to look this up real quick. Hold on just a second. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So she was okay. She was not sisters. Okay. So Joan Beaufort, who married whatever, she was the aunt or great aunt of Margaret Beaufort, who was King Henry VII's mother. And King Henry VII, of course, was the one who ended the Wars of the Roses by placing House of Tudor on the throne in the 1480s. So I think it's very odd that it's like Joan Beaufort passed away in like 1440s or something like that. But it's just very interesting because the Wars of the Roses were definitely raging at that time in England. And it's interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
That is very interesting.
It correlates. I'm not pointing that I was that person. You don't know. It could have been anybody, but it was just it's just very odd. The similarities. I may cut that part out, but
no, I think that's cool, actually. I think you should leave it, because, I mean, as somebody, it's inevitable, especially if we continue to grow as a podcast. At some point, somebody's going to just be like, y'all are fucking crazy. Like, there's no way. But for other people, it's going to resonate, Mads. Like, we're going to have both ways. Like, I know we sound like basket cases. I don't really care. Like, who are you to tell us what experiences we're having in our own lives? And vice versa. So I think it's fine, but...
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very interesting.
I went from having so much to say to nothing.
Both of us just, just quiet. That's so funny. Okay, so I have a question then. To get us back on maybe some brain wavelength of some kind. We're gonna lose so many listeners after this episode.
You might be
either
right.
that, Or y'all gonna love us more. One of the two. I don't know. It's one extreme or the other, right? Anyways. So do you think, because souls are not the physical body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that past lives and reincarnation can also have us be different creatures? Like, could you be a dog? Could you be an elephant? Could you be anything, you know? Or do you
So I
think you're
wonder-
specifically you're specifically a soul for a human body, for a human experience?
So it's interesting that you asked that question, because I know that some religions say that you can go from a human to an animal of some sort, an insect, whatever. But personally, me, I don't know if I believe that. Because I'm already on the fence of a past life. Just like, even though I have had very emotional feelings to like these dreams that are very hyper realistic, that come off as though they are something of the past that I was involved in.
Mm-hmm.
I still am on the fence of whether or not it's something that I truly wholeheartedly believe. And so because of that is why I don't think that like the souls of you and I as like intelligent beings would ever reincarnate into like an animal. But that's just me personally. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts?
I don't really know if I've ever thought about it in this specific aspect. I will tell you, just for shits and gigs, to see if we can make a connection or not. That when I was like younger, I always like, whenever, you know, like when you're hanging out with your friends and kids, like you all want to play house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like somebody's always the mom, and someone's always the dad, and someone's always the baby. I
You were
always
the
wanted to
fucking
be the
dog.
dog. Yep. I was always the damn dog. Or it's like we would go outside for recess and we would play horses and we would play dinosaurs. I was always a velociraptor. I've always wanted to be a velociraptor. I don't know why.
What the fuck? You
was
should have
like-
kept that one in the draft, sis, because I don't know what the fuck you going on about.
But it's just like, am I divinely connected to animals, or is it just like I was like as a kid? Because at one point I was like, I want to be a zoologist, blah blah blah, whatever. And then I decided I
Yeah.
couldn't handle animals dying. Like I couldn't do that. Like I
Yeah.
would die. A piece of me would die. So, is it just that I like have this innate love for creatures, or is it like I was a creature at one point?
Personally, okay, so
I mean, if we're
our-
talking all of it, why not talk all of it? You know?
it's true, but for our listeners out there, back in May of last year, before we went to Pennhurst, Burgy and I spent a night in Washington, D.C. Shout out to my mom for that. And we went to
Yes,
the
shout out,
Smithsonian.
Mom.
And I told Burgy, I was like, I am geeking out right now looking at all these dinosaur bones. I have always had a fascination with dinosaurs.
Me too.
But hear me out. That's another thing. You know what? I'm going to tell you one more story after this, after I answer your question. Just remind me to tell it. I have always had a fascination with like Egyptian, like their life after death kind of ordeal, like the afterlife. And I've always been fascinated with dinosaurs, like dinosaur bones and like the way that they passed and stuff. And you said that you also really enjoyed dinosaurs. And so we actually got matching shirts from the Smithsonian that have
my
dinosaurs.
favorite shirt. Actually, I wear it all the time.
I
It's
love
my
it. I don't know
favorite
what mine
like
is.
Saturday shirt. It's my new dinosaur shirt that me and Mads have together.
I love
But
it.
yeah, I don't know what it is about the dinosaurs either, man. Like maybe maybe we were cave women at some point in our lives, in our soul life. But Something about dinosaurs. Like, I always, like, I told you this before, and now I'm gonna out myself even more now that y'all think I'm super fucking weird. But as a little kid, my imaginary friends were dinosaurs. Like, I had this whole little army of dinosaurs that would protect me at night. Like, I would go to bed and I would tell them goodnight, and they would watch over my house. I had a T-Rex, I had a Stegosaurus, I had a Triceratops, I had a Pterodactyl, and I had a Velociraptor.
Honestly, that
And a long
is
neck.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, and the long neck, he would sit, so like, little Burgy, we were poor, and we had lived in a trailer.
Burgy, where'd you go? Did you mute yourself?
Hello?
What the fuck?
God damn it! My screen was going black, so I just, like, thought I moved the mouse, but I must have hit the mute button.
Okay. That's funny. But anyway, you had dinos looking after you.
Yeah, so like Lil Berg was poor, right? So we lived in a trailer house, and the trailer house was backed up to this hill. We were in Rapid City, South Dakota at the time, and the long neck, he would go sit on top of the hill so he could like be the lookout, and he'd like oversee everything, and then the T-Rex would sit in front of the house because he was like the big bad T-Rex, right? So he's like gonna protect us, and then the rest of them were just like kind of on the side of the house and then protect us. And the Velociraptor was the only one allowed in the house because he was small enough to be in the house. So anyways, I have very vivid like memories of my imaginary friend dinosaur team that would protect me at nighttime.
That is actually really cute.
And then I could only take one to work. I could only take one to school every day because they're so big, so I couldn't take them all to school. So they'd have to take turns. Anyways,
that's cute. That's cute. I was gonna say, meanwhile, ridiculous. My fucking ass was pretending like I was a mermaid and my house was water, and I would try to swim. And
so much.
I'm not even fucking playing around. Like, after I watched The Little Mermaid, I was like, I am a mermaid. And I mean, I guess it's better than, I mean, I was pretty much every Disney princess in my mind at one point. But I mean, having pretend dinosaurs is better than thinking that your boyfriend is the fucking beast.
Like Beauty and the Beast? Yes.
Yeah, that beast.
That's so like, cute.
This bitch was toddler me into bestiality, or like what? Like,
that explains why you like hairy dad bod men. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't fucking.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. That's funny.
Ew.
Anyway. Fuck Bowser. What? We hate Bowser. We like dinosaurs, but we hate Bowser. Mads? Gosh dang it. Are we really doing this again, Ringer? I love you guys. Sorry we're so fucking weird today. Actually, no, I'm not. It was just me. Just deal with it, but, you know. Mad. Okay, Mads. So I don't know if you heard before we got cut off again, Ringer. But I said fuck Bowser. Like, we like dinosaurs, but we hate Bowser.
Oh, honestly, yeah, fuck him. I just want to go on the record that from now on, I'm not going to mention anybody that I'm like talking to or have a thing for. I'm not going to mention it. I feel like people probably think I'm crazy. They're like, she's fucking insane. That's why.
Girl, I literally 10 minutes ago said I was a velociraptor in the past life, and you think people think you're the crazy one? You're really thinking that right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not gonna say anything else like about that kind of stuff.
Y'all might think I'm crazy, but the truth is none of us actually know. It's not impossible.
Yeah, it's not necessarily impossible. We won't know until we die, so.
Yep.
Just saying.
Maybe not. If you're going on to another level, you might not know.
I have one more story to tell you. Another dream that I had that resembled like a past life regression. This one's shorter. I was very obviously, it seemed as though it was like the 1920s. And I don't know if I was female or not. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no idea. But
yes, when gender fluidity actually started. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, but actually I have no idea what I was. I don't know. Like, I feel like I was a woman, but I don't know if that was a thing at the time. I really don't. I have no idea.
You know, I mean, interesting topic, but even maybe that's where that stuff comes from. Like, people that are born and they feel like they're the wrong gender. Maybe it's because in the past life they weren't the gender they were born this time.
Yeah. Part of me wonders. I think that could potentially be it for sure.
Who knows? I'm just here to throw you little weird brain things to think about, and you just think about it the way you will. Anyways, go.
But if I were to guess, I feel as though I may have been a man. And so I was in the pyramids of Egypt, and we were doing, like all that excavation and is that the word I'm looking for? Like, we were like in the pyramids deep down in there, and we finally got to the part of the tomb where the sarcophagus is, and obviously because it's in a fucking pyramid, it was very dark, very, 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 very dark, no dark like it. And all of a sudden it was like this weird thing where I felt as though whoever I was during that whole, I keep wanting to call it an excavation. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's like they were in the midst of all of that. Whoever I was at that time was also the pharaoh that was buried there in a past life. Because in the like regression, it was like the person that I was had like this whole like moment where it was like, this is very odd. I believe I was this person kind of ordeal, if that makes sense. I don't even know if it makes sense. The way that it was presented to me was like I was there, and then I was also the dead body.
Wild.
I don't know how to explain it other than that, but that was really cool. And I've
so it's kind of like you're seeing your past life.
Yeah.
And your past life is seeing your other past life.
Yes.
Past lifeception.
Yeah. It's the weirdest
wild
thing. And I've always had a connection to Egypt too. So like, I don't know, man. I want to say I don't entirely believe. I feel as though I don't entirely believe. But there's parts of me where it's like, that is just fucking weird, you know?
Yeah. But that's the cool thing about like brains and stuff is like, even if you don't entirely believe, it's still fun to talk about. It's still fun to be like, what if though? Like, what if though?
It's like, what's going on?
Theorize it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I wish we knew how long we've actually been talking because Ringer
I think it's been over an hour.
Oh, good.
Because it had 30 minutes the first time and then 30 minutes the second time. So we have about 65 minutes behind us. So I think we're pretty good.
That's okay. I mean, I've very much enjoyed this, even though we can't stay on track to save our lives.
I know. I very much
save
enjoyed
all of our lives, past lives include what? Anyways, I'm stupid.
Me too.
I really hope somebody gets a kick out of this episode. Somebody's gonna be like, "Well, that was a colossal waste of an hour."
I actually think that we talked about some good things, but it feels as though right now nothing that we said made any sense, and it doesn't help that we kept getting cut off.
I know.
Thanks to me, that was all me.
On top of the struggle of our brains are just not cooperating.
Literally.
A triple whammy. I don't know.
Triple whammy.
Do it for the listeners, man. Do you remember? Do it for the vine.
Do it for the vine.
Do it for the vine. We're talking about dinosaurs. The blanket I'm using literally has dinosaurs on it. I just want to throw that out there so everybody knows.
Dinosaurs.
My dinosaur blankie is my podcast blankie.
I have a blanket on too because it's like 20 degrees right now. But anyway,
anything else? Should we add anything else to this? Just make it extra chaotic.
One thing I do want to add is that, full disclosure, just because I had a fascination with obsessively searching for people does not mean that I claim to be Joan Beaufort from another life. I'm just saying that it seems very interesting, the coincidences and the correlations.
Did you know who she was before you dreamt about her?
No.
Okay.
I did not. I actually had no idea. And her history and the history of James the First as well is very interesting. Their love story is amazing. Absolutely love their story. Yeah, you should look it up. Look up James the First of Scotland and Joan Beaufort. It's so fucking cute. He was a prisoner of England. Oh,
she's into bad guys. Okay.
For years, and he had spotted her. And he still had, like, I don't know, I guess you would call it, like, in modern day parole, where he could come out of his cell and shit, but he was still very much a prisoner. And he saw her and he instantly became in love with her, and he wrote a poem about her. And of course it's written in like old English, and if you read the actual like document, it's very hard to read. So you need to look up like English, modern English translation to understand it. And he ended up asking her to marry him and become his queen when he was able to return to Scotland. So
I wish that modern love was still that cool.
Yeah. Now it's like, send me a titty pic. Send me
and this is why I'm single.
That's why I'm single.
Because I want old-fashioned love.
Yeah, I am a old soul for sure. Uh-oh.
Duchess too?
Someone crying. But yeah.
See, that's the other thing though, Mads, is you could like, so I'm also an old soul. Like, tell me how you really feel, Dutch. It was like in response to what I said. Are you
gonna be our outro this week?
Probably. Is she done? Are you done?
She's done. She ran away.
Oh, good. So that's the other thing though, is like with past lives and stuff, and like you said, oh my gosh, I'm stuttering. You said that you're an old soul, and then I'm like, well, we could kind of tie that into past life stuff too, because like, fun fact, my favorite music genre is like 50s and 60s. Like, yeah. I feel like I was born in the wrong decade.
Dude,
you too?
No, but I have a whole playlist of like medieval music, and I get down to that shit sometimes.
I love that. You should send it to me. I want to listen to
it. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah, do it right now.
We're gonna have to end this because she's getting impatient.
She's like, shut up. She's using my catchphrase. Shut the fuck up. My newest catchphrase this year, 2024, I think is gonna be make it make sense. I've been saying that a lot recently. Anyways, but yeah, so like past lives, like I sometimes wonder if I was like I am fascinated with the 1920s, and I want to be a flapper girl. So
I'm gonna go mute for a second, okay?
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay. I always get nervy when it's just me because it's like, what am I supposed to say to you guys? Like, shut up, phone! I'm just kidding. Watch it be Mads. It's Mads! It's the playlist. Okay, anyways, so I've always been fascinated with the 1920s, and yeah, I wanted to be a flapper girl. I love like the Great Gatsby book. I was obsessed with that book. I don't know why that's relevant. Anyways, so sometimes I just feel like maybe my last past life, I was like probably in my prime of my life, between the 20, like in my 20s and 30s. I was living in the 1920s, and I feel like I was murdered for some reason. I don't know why, but I've just always felt like in one of my most recent past lives, I was murdered. Or
Murder.
I always feel like I might get murdered in this lifetime. Do you ever have inklings like that? You're like, I'm not gonna live to be a certain age.
Yes, dude.
And is it because you're is it because of a past life, do you think?
I don't know. But I have always been terrified of like being left home alone and somebody breaking in.
I feel like that's probably because of a past life, though. Because, like, why would you have any need to be that afraid? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Duchess keeps being impatient, so we're gonna have to end this.
That's fine, that's fine. Anyways, this has been our struggle buzz of us just chit-chatting about past lives. Hope
and Duchess being impatient. She's like, okay.
And on that note, we'll catch you next week. Oh, Dutch.
Yep, we will see you next week where we have a very special guest, my mommy. So, bye, babes. Burgy, where are you? Well, Duchess is taking place of Burgy, so I don't know where she is. I don't know what she's doing.